Tony Sunday is just days away, and it is time to make some predictions. I'm joined by editors Beth Stevens, Imogen Lloyd-Webber, and Ryan Lee Gilbert, and we are going to predict who might be walking home with some Tonys. It's a very difficult thing to do. So let's just start off by saying everything is always up in the air, but we kind of know what's going on. So let's go through some of the categories, shall we?
Yeah.
Yes.
Best play. I feel like there's a clear frontrunner this year.
Sure. Harry Potter, which won 9 Olivier Awards, so very strong contender. I mean, it raises the bar in terms of stagecraft and bringing so many new audiences to theatre. It's quite wonderful.
It's a huge hit, and it was acclaimed across the board. People love it. It's not going anywhere. And yeah, they do technical things in that show that we've never seen before.
Wizardry, one might say.
Exactly, magic.
It's also the only open show of the category.
I think it's a lock.
I think so.
We all feel that. We all feel that.
All right, good.
Let's jump over to revivals. So revival of a play. I feel like Angels in America
I agree.
is the front runner here. It feels like such an epic production, and it feels like an event.
It's wonderful. Marion Elliott's production is fantastic. Came from the National Theatre in London, and it's been 25 years since it's been on Broadway.
But what about Three Tall Women?
It's brutally
gorgeous.
truthful, and it really takes you on a journey. So it's up there.
Right, yeah, no, and this is the first time that we've seen this, Edward Albee play on Broadway. You have Glenda Jackson giving an insane performance, which we'll talk about soon, but insanely good. Yeah, and Joe Mantello did something with it that is really fascinating and special.
Definitely a major competitor. Let's just jump right into that. Glenda Jackson, I think, is a lock for lead actress in a play.
Yeah.
Major performance.
The other 3 actresses are representing the only nominations of their plays, and yeah, at 82 years old, she's giving a towering performance.
And she was a politician for decades, so to suddenly then go back to acting and then dominate in such a way, it is extraordinary.
Every time she's been on Broadway, she's been nominated for a Tony. This is her 5th time. 5 Tony nominations. I think she's going to take it home this year.
Oh, she's never won before?
She's never won.
First time win. Congratulations, Glenda Jackson.
Absolutely.
Go build that shelf. Let's jump over to revivals of musicals. 3 musicals. We have Carousel, My Fair Lady, and Once on This Island. I think they all have their fans. It's actually a great race.
Agreed. Like, I know we're big fans of Once on This Island. That's the show that has the heart. Everyone goes to that show, they love it, they tell everyone to see it. It holds a special place, but it opened a while ago,
It's in a very intimate theatre, circling the square. It's very immersive. And then, of course, you contrast that with, say, an epic like My Fair Lady. A lovely production, shall we say. But it's huge. I think My Fair Lady edges out Carousel.
And My Fair Lady seems to be sort of the safe bet here.
People know the score, and Eliza Doolittle is a wonderful character everyone knows, so I think it has a little bit of an edge here.
Let's talk about featured actor in a musical. The featured races are always kind of a crapshoot because it's hard to tell which direction they will go in. Beth, do you have a gut reaction here?
My gut for this one is Gavin Lee in SpongeBob SquarePants, but Ariel Stachel's giving a wonderful performance in The Band's Visit, got great reviews. I think this could be one of those categories where you just get a surprise. I mean, Norbert Leo Butz is also giving a wonderful performance.
2-time winner.
2-time winner, yes.
And I have to say, Gray Henson in Mean Girls. I sat there watching Mean Girls thinking, oh, this is a Tony nomination lock. And because this category is so wide open, that might be a little bit of a surprise there that night.
All right, so featured actresses in musicals. Lindsay Mendez for Carousel. Carrie Pippage is a great part. Audra McDonald won her first of many Tonys for that role. She seems to be who most people are talking about.
And she's very much a member of the Broadway community. And you do have some icons there, obviously Diana Rigg, Renee Fleming in Carousel. But Lindsay is just someone who has been around, who has grafted, has worked really hard, and I wouldn't be surprised if the community reward her for that.
Okay, featured actors in plays. Nathan Lane, the great Nathan Lane, is giving an epic performance. It could have been even considered a leading performance, perhaps, playing Roy Cohn. Is he the winner?
3rd Tony, is it, for Nathan Lane?
It would be the 3rd Tony. But then again, they can always give us a surprise, right? The Tonys like to give us some random thing that we didn't expect. So
Anthony Boyle won the Olivier, so definitely a possibility there. And he's slightly, no spoilers, keep the secrets, everybody. He does slightly steal that show.
Yeah, I was going to say, you walk out of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child talking about 2 things. The magic they did on stage and Anthony Boyle's performance.
I just want to give a shout out to David Morse, who is phenomenal. And a great actor of stage and screen. This is his first nomination and could just be the win.
Absolutely.
Okay, so talking about featured actress in a play.
Can I just
think
say,
this is Denise Goff's to lose.
sorry, there are so many Brits in this category, I'm a little bit
Yes,
embarrassed.
I know, super
Like,
Brit.
it's basically just Laurie Metcalf as the
Representing
American.
the
And
Americans.
I'm just at this,
Well,
just
Denise
sorry.
Goff is Irish. I just want to shout
Okay,
that out.
it's just sorry, but continue.
Thank you.
Apologise for that.
No, I think you were Denise Goff.
I think Denise Goff
Yeah.
plays Harper Pitt in Angels in America is giving a stunning performance.
Right.
I mean, this is a tough category also, so.
It
who
is,
knows,
because
but-
you have her co-star, Susan Brown, who is just doing so many things in that show and really does, the most with all of those little roles. But like we were saying earlier, there's a lot of love for Harry Potter and the Cursed Child as well. And
NOMA DUMEZWENI.
absolutely, Hermione Granger, that's a ripe
Yeah,
role.
we'll see. Leading actor in a musical, Ethan Slater, total newcomer. He was fantastic. He really carries the show.
True triple threat, right?
Yeah.
He is
Absolutely.
moving all over that stage, doing all kinds of things.
And this role in this show has been his life for 6 years. And and finally he has this moment that he is shining on the Broadway stage. I think a Tony Award would be a nice cherry on the sundae that has been this for Ethan Slater.
I don't want to count out Joshua Henry for Carousel. He's playing Billy Bigelow. This is an iconic role. The first time a person of color has done this role on Broadway, and he gets to sing one of the most beloved songs in all of musical theater, and he's knocking it out of the park, so don't count him out.
Ethan has an element of surprise. I think Josh Henry, we've seen, this is his third nomination. He's a fantastic actor. We knew he could be a great Billy Bigelow. Ethan Slater just sort of has the element of surprise, which might push him over the edge a little bit. Best Book of a Musical. Let's talk about some of the writing awards for musicals. Tina Fey?
Yeah.
Tina Fey. Is this the chance to really give Mean Girls?
It's a way to honor the show.
Sure.
To honor her and her comedy and just translating that great movie to the stage and making it work.
It's a sharp script, but it's also moving. And I think that might surprise people when they go and they leave. There really is a message there.
And it also feels like Tina Fey is one of those people that you want to reach like an EGOT at some point. And so let's get her Tony in there.
And then Best Score. This also just seems like a lock for David Yazbek.
I think so. I took Dad, Andrew Lloyd Webber, everyone, to see Band's Visit. It was sort of third preview, so that was a bit unfair. Dad sat there enraptured. I heard bravos coming out of his mouth. That never happens, everybody. And then he led the standing ovation.
Wow.
What David Yazbek is doing musically is on another level, and I'm afraid I think it would be a disgrace if he didn't win Best Score. Sorry, just laying it
never
out
hear
there.
music like this on Broadway.
No.
This
Right.
is Middle Eastern music for the most part, and yet it works as musical theater as well, and it's funny and it's touching.
And David Yazbek needs a Tony.
Yes,
Absolutely.
he deserves
Needs
it.
a Tony.
Yes. Director of a play.
Oh,
This
Who's
is a
the
tough
front runner
one.
here, Ryan?
I mean, as we've been saying, Marianne Elliott, she's won 2 Tony Awards already. She has once again done something incredible with Angels in America. I think it's hers to lose, but she has some contenders.
I disagree.
John Tiffany
I'm with
raised
Imogen.
the bar in terms
Absolutely.
of plays. What he has done is unbelievable.
I don't disagree that Marianne Elliott deserves her accolades, but I think John Tiffany might nab it just because of the design elements that he pulled together and the magic of
Sure.
the show and just the whole world of Harry Potter from the minute you walk in the theater. That's all.
And
him.
he helped write it as well.
Yes.
Like, he has lots of ownership over there.
His DNA is in that show.
Absolutely.
Marianne has lots of Tonys.
Now, for musical directors, it's a very creative batch here. I think Tina Landau, what she did with SpongeBob SquarePants, wildly imaginative. But then you also have what Michael Arden did, Wilderness Island. Bart Scher is sort of a favorite every year. David Cromer, I mean, for Band's Visit, this is
This is
tough.
impossible.
It really
I
is.
can't even begin to
I
tell
feel
you.
like it's between
this
Tina
category.
Landau and David Cromer. I think honoring Tina Landau and SpongeBob, because I'm going to give you a little spoiler. I don't think SpongeBob's going to win Best Musical, and this could be a way to honor that show. But I also think what David Cromer did with Band's Visit is really special.
Right. And like we were saying with John Tiffany, Tina Landau's DNA is in SpongeBob as well. She helped conceive this whole thing. You know, she didn't just show up and direct it. It's partly her creation. And I think she has a great shot. But David Cromer, did something really special.
It's a strong category.
Really strong.
So for choreography, I don't feel like there's a clear front runner. I mean, Justin Peck might have the edge because Carousel is so ballet heavy, and it's definitely a real dance show.
Well, I mean, yes, and also that New York City Ballet link that he has.
Right.
In saying that, just to shout out here that we have Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. A play is in the Best Choreography category. And that really speaks to how exquisite and groundbreaking Harry Potter is, I think.
But Christopher Gattelli pulled out 2 nominations.
Yeah.
You know, 2
Does that
shows.
split the vote, do you think?
Yes.
I think that's something that can happen. Yeah, absolutely. But great work in both.
Okay, leading actress in a musical. This is another tough one. I think I'm going with Katrina Lenk for The Band's Visit. It
I
feels
agree.
like it's been a performance of the year that
Right.
it came out in the fall, and I feel like she's really sort of the heart of the show.
I mean, there are 6 names in this category, so it's a big old
Yeah.
category. They were obviously having an argument about this at the nomination committee. But Katrina is just sublime.
No, it definitely feels like Katrina Lenk's been the it girl of this Broadway season. But Lauren Ambrose seems to have impressed everybody that sees
Because
that
we've
show.
never seen her in a musical.
Exactly.
Leading actor in a play.
There's something called Tony Bait. They talk about Oscar Bait, Tony Bait. That would be Andrew Garfield
Yes.
in Angels in America.
Yes.
Locke, no?
I think
I
he's
think
a
it's
lot.
Stunning performance.
Yeah,
It's a stunning performance.
absolutely.
It's a demanding show, and he's really giving his all.
Okay, finally, best musical. This is kind of the big one, at least for me.
Right, yeah.
Just for you.
Beth, you don't think it's going to be SpongeBob?
I don't. I'm sorry to say that earlier. I think it's a wonderful show. I think The Band's Visit
Yes.
will win. It won a bunch of awards last year when it was off Broadway. And so it hasn't been in this award season as much because it was eligible last year. I mean, I love this show. You guys know that.
Yeah, I think Band's Visit has a slight edge, but it's a
It
good,
is the prestige favorite of
Yeah.
the season, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, well, we did it.
We made it through.
I hope that your favorites win on Tony night, and be sure to check Broadway.com for all the best Tony coverage.